I recently grew my Instagram from 25 to 100k in just over a month, and I broke every social media rule to do it. So you're probably thinking, Chantal, how? Well, let me tell you this. I don't post 5 to 7 second videos. In fact, majority of my content is over a minute long. I don't worry about using trending audios, and this is the shocker, right? I most definitely do not post consistently, maybe once a week. So what then, Chantal? Well, let's get a different perspective. It's not the how, but the why. Because before we talk about the how, we need to figure out the why. Why are you even creating content? Why are you on this app? Because let me tell you, it's not the social media strategy, it's your social media strategy. So let's dive right in. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name's Chantal. I'm a watercolor artist and illustrator who is sharing her journey about creating her children's book online. And today we are going to create your social media strategy, because it is something that is so important if you want to grow a community, if you want to grow on the online space and actually reach your destination and your goals. And this information is something that I would have killed to have at the beginning of my journey when I started posting on social media in February 2022. However, I had no idea what I was doing, and I struggled to find this information online, especially because the social media gurus, the people that are in the space that have this knowledge, love to gatekeep. And I thought I would come on here and share it with you guys. And you might say, Chantal, what is your credentials? What is your knowledge? Well, I started posting on social media, February 2022, and my videos on TikTok and Instagram would only reach a few hundred people. And when I look at other creators that kind of share their knowledge online about having a social media strategy or how to film and edit videos for TikTok and Instagram, they blew up from the get-go. And I'm like, why would I trust your knowledge? I can't relate to you at all. So I've really come from a place where I knew nothing, and I have grown into a space where I have recently found my content style, and I've accumulated so much understanding in the space, particularly to the art and creative community. And I want to share it with you guys because, as I said, as much value I can give to other people and help their journey inspires my own. So I'm going to share with you the 4 chapters in my own social media strategy so you can create your own for your own art business. And I'm also going to share a little bit behind the scenes of how I film and edit my videos for TikTok and Instagram. One more thing, I've also created a 25-page booklet that goes in depth on all the chapters that we're going to go through today, with lots more questions, lots more advice, ideas, series. All of that is in my 25-page booklet, and it's something that I share with my one-on-one sessions that I do with people, and I also do social media classes in my local community. And people have said to me, Chantal, this information that you have here needs to be available for everyone. Like, it's so succinct, it's so professionally put, and it's all in one place. So everything that you need to know about a social media strategy to reach your goal, and it's not hundreds of dollars like every social media strategy course that I ever see, which is nuts. So it's affordable. Let's get on to the video. I have picked like the worst day to film because the sun is going all the time. But you know what? Sometimes the energy and the passion behind your video is more important than the quality of it. So we're going to continue, guys. If you're not having purpose behind the brand, then why are you creating, and what is your goal? What is your destination? And if you don't have strategy in place, then you're never going to achieve your goals on social media. So let's get into it. What is your personal brand? What is your brand identity? In one sentence, I want you to summarize who you are and why you are creating. And that is one of the hardest things to do, but it is so important, because your personal brand is going to underline and back up every video you create. And it's so important to have this kind of thesis statement to back up every single post that you do, because without it, you're not going to have consistency, and without consistency, you're not going to have an engaged following. So that is why it is so important. So I'm going to share my own kind of brand identity, and it can change it over time, but it's something that needs to be long-term, like long-term in a year, in a future, something that is going to stay with you for quite a while, because it is going to create that consistency. So for me, mine is Chantal Leonhardt is a watercolor artist and illustrator, inspiring you to connect with your inner child and chase your dreams. Now, that is something that is apparent in every single post that I put on either TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram. Now, after your brand identity and after you've defined yourself, who you are and what you are and why you are creating, the social media gurus like to come up with this term they call pillars. Now, every single person that I've watched and seen and heard and listened to has a different definition of pillars, but they're mainly like subjects that back up, subjects or areas of your brand identity that back up your thesis statement that we just created in that one sentence. And your pillars do not have to be in every post that you make. They are like making up the content of your posts and your feed. So for my pillars, I really kind of I'm a children's book illustrator, I'm a watercolor artist, and I'm also a studio art gallery owner. And that's something that makes up the content I post, but it's not apparent in every post that I put up, if that makes kind of sense. In my workbook, I kind of go into like a bit more detail on what your purpose is on this app, what inspires you, fleshing out those juicy questions for you guys to understand how to create your thesis statement and furthermore create your social media goals. But for now, we're going to go on and move on to the social media goals that you might have. So, what is your main goal on social media? Why are you posting on this platform? And especially if you are a small business, you are a creative, you are a artist, you will have very specific social media goals or business goals that can be translated into social media goals. So I'm going to read some out which are in my workbook. So maybe your social media goal is to collaborate with brands or companies, to sell your art, your accommodation, to book out your services. Maybe it's to connect with your audience, grow an engaged relationship with the community. So really knuckle down on what your social media goal is, and perhaps it's a variety of these goals as well. So really kind of have a broad term of like sell, educate, collaborate, whatever type of social media goal that you have, and then really put into detail the specifics of that goal, maybe the time frame and what it looks like to you in detail. In order to create your social media goals, you need to understand who you are creating content for, aka your target audience. Understand who are they, where do they live, what are their interests, their desires, their dreams. And when you begin to understand your target audience, you're going to understand what type of content you need to create in order to reach them and make them want to stay. So here's a few questions you can ask yourself. In order to achieve your business, aka your social media goals, can your target audience live anywhere in the world? Do they need to come and visit you in person? What are their interests? What are their likes? And when you answer those questions, you're going to begin to form an idea of who you should create content for. And when you understand who you are creating content for, we can get into the specifics of the posting time, the captions and hashtags, and the algorithm. So let's dive into those. The number one question I get asked is, what about the algorithm, Chantal? And let me tell you right now, as soon as someone says algorithm, you should start posting for what the algorithm wants. You should be flexible and learn the algorithm. This is the rubbish bin, right? And you're going to put that advice in the bin. And let me tell you why that is such shit advice to kind of follow the algorithm, right? Let me say this very articulately. If you are creating content for the algorithm and no longer creating content to achieve your social media goals, then why are you creating content in the first place? You're doing more harm than good for your overall business and your page. Like, that's crazy. And the thing is as well is that the algorithm is constantly changing. And so if you're constantly changing your content style and your content form to fit the algorithm, people who are following you will have no idea what's going on. And the lack of consistency in your page is going to lead you to downfall later in the track, because you're not going to be able to keep up. So everybody that says, oh my God, algorithms changed to like this form now, we should all go do that, is absolutely nuts, because it's absolutely crazy. Let me give you a great example. I've had people say to me, Chantal, you need to start like posting 5 to 7 second videos, because at the moment that is what the algorithm wants. And I'm like, are you crazy? First of all, my social media goal is to get people emotionally invested in my art journey and illustrating my children's book. Let me tell you right now, I cannot do that in a 5 to 7 second video. And so posting 5 to 7 second videos, even though they might get me exposure if I do it consistently, it's not going to achieve my social media goal. In fact, it's going to do me more harm than good on my page and for my long-term project of putting my children's book out in the world. So you know what? That advice, absolute trash bag. Also, I love creating content. I love storytelling. And I think the passion for my content creation in that style really comes through my work. And my most viewed videos that have like millions of views are over a minute long. And I'm posting them when supposedly the algorithm is favoring 5 to 7 second videos. So the advice that people give you that you should post for the algorithm, absolute trash. Absolutely in the bin. Now, don't get me wrong. Take this advice with a big fat grain of salt, because if your social media goals line up with what the algorithm favors at the moment, then by all means, lucky you, post those 5 to 7 second videos. But yeah, be careful with like following the advice and following the algorithm, because really, if you are consistent with any type of content form, the algorithm is going to favor you if you keep up that consistency and keep up that engagement. So you might be asking yourself, the fucking lighting has gone again. So you might be asking yourself, Chantal, how do I even create a social media goal? How do I translate a business goal to a social media goal and then take that into a short-term goal and an actionable step? Let's get into the most important chapter. The chapter that you all have been waiting for, which is content creation. How do I film and edit videos? First of all, what is the structure of a good video or the content creation the content that we want to create? Usually a video falls into this basic structure. It starts with a hook, then follows the value of your content, and it ends with a CTA, which is your call to action. Now, your hook grabs the viewer's attention, because if they don't feel like they're part of your video or you're going to be offering enough value to come, then they're going to scroll away. So in the first 3 to 5 seconds, you need to grab the viewer's attention. Otherwise, they're gone. So a hook can either be written, it can be visual, or it can be audio. And I say if you have all three, you've got the golden trifecta. But depending on your content creation style, you might choose one or the other. And you might have one that is more engaging than the other two, which just back it up. After your hook falls the value of your video, whatever you want to say, and that usually is content that is entertaining or educational or inspiring, or it could be a mixture of all three. After the structure of your video or the value that you provide there is your call to action. What do you want people to do after they've watched this video? And this can even be subconscious. It doesn't have to be in your face, like buy my book. It can be like even hidden in the caption, or it could be signing up to a mailing list. It could be just following along the journey. It could be buying a product or a service. And it could even be written at the end of the video, or said at the end of the video, or even in the caption, or maybe not even there at all. It's just subliminally hinted at it. And sometimes that has the best effect as well. So let's go into specific types of content creation, how these types of content creation feed into your social media goals and allow you to achieve your social media goals, because every type of content will have a different outcome. So let's get into it. Now, my little workbook has an entire list of all different types of content creation, what kind of niches they fall into, and their specific outcomes. But because I don't want this video to be hours long, I'm just going to share a few of them with you guys, especially that creatives or art businesses can use. So I'm going to read them out on my computer because like they're quite long, you know. So of course you have your day in your life, which, you know, brings people along a journey. It gives a little bit of transparency, which is great for building trust. Then we have videos that are usually called one shots because they are just one shot. It doesn't have any breaks, and they're usually great for making people take immediate action. We can also have processes or behind the scenes, which kind of show people a little bit more dimension to your brand. Of course, my favorite is storytelling, because this really allows you to kind of have an emotional connection with your viewer. And because people buy on emotion, not logic, this is great if you want people to like invest in your journey, which is what I love to do. So let's get into the specifics of how to create great content. And I'm going to talk about lighting, audio, camera equipment, and aesthetics. The number one thing is that you need to have great lighting. At the moment, I don't have great lighting because the clouds are covering up the sun, which is really annoying me, but I really wanted to film this video. So I'm going to continue and see how bad the footage looks and see if I need to refilm it. The other thing is that you need good quality audio. You need good quality audio before you have good quality visuals, because if the audio is shit, people will leave. And so this little microphone that I'm using is not a $200 Rode microphone that people have clipped onto their shirt. In fact, it's I think a $25 little wired microphone that connects to my iPhone port, and I'll link it in my description. It's great. I use it for doing all my voiceovers. Anytime that I need to create a video speaking to you guys, you'll see that I have this microphone as well, and I just kind of put it up through my shirt so it's not annoying me. The other thing is that I film everything on my iPhone, and I always use the back camera because the back camera is so much more high quality than the one on the front. And yeah, I think I have an iPhone 11 Pro, so not even that new. So your camera can do everything that you ever need. You don't need any special camera equipment to film videos. Like, that's crazy. And the other thing is I have 3 different types of tripods. You guys are sitting on one of them at the moment, which is a concept tripod. I've had it for years, and honestly it's broken at the moment, so you guys are actually like kind of taped to the tripod. I need to fix it. But yeah, that camera tripod is my ride or die. It fits also my DSLR camera if I need to shoot like high quality photos for my brand, but it's what I use for my camera footage as well. The other tripod that I have is this one, which is just your $45 one from Amazon. I'll link it in my storefront as well. But she films all the angles that I need for illustrating my children's book, or any paintings that I'm doing, or any tutorials that I do on my Patreon. I can get a pretty much vertical bird's eye view. I can get sharp angles, and she's pretty small as well. The other tripod I also have is this little one that Moft has just sent me, and look how slim and compact it is. And it works by a magnet. So I take the case off my iPhone, and the magnet of the back of my iPhone sticks on the back of the Moft tripod, and I pretty much use it if I want to get up and close views of little details for my painting, or if you want to paint, you know, you do a lot of filming in public on the go. The last thing is your aesthetics. So because like Instagram is very an aesthetic app, you need to have no clutter in the background of your video. Choose a font or 2, or maybe even more, and have them stay consistent throughout your entire content creation, because people just love consistency. And if you're changing up fonts all the time, it's just going to annoy them, and it's going to annoy you too. So really choose a font and perhaps even a color that suits your theme, and stick to it. Alright, so you might be thinking, Chantal, how on earth do I even film a video? Well, I'm going to show you my setup, and maybe that inspires you how you can set up your own. So I have these gorgeous full windows that are north facing, and I'm on the southern hemisphere, so I get beautiful light in my studio practically all year round. And recently I've made use of that light by switching my desk around to have it directly facing the sun, and that means I can get even sunlight across all of my artwork. So I kind of set my little tripod up on the corner of my desk so that the corner of my room is going to be in the middle of my footage. And this just really makes my content just nice, even, in balance. And I kind of use like a grid of thirds. So the top third will be kind of the roof where I'm going to put text. The middle third is kind of me and the focus point, and the bottom is kind of my artwork. And I don't want my artwork to be so far down the bottom that when I post it to Instagram or TikTok, the caption is going to cover it. So I kind of play around with that, shifting my tripod up and down. Depending on what I am filming, I will go and pretend paint for an intro. Sorry, social media is fake. Don't know who's going to tell you that. Otherwise, I just film me painting in the process as well. So that's all natural. The other two ways that I capture content is with this tripod, and you can kind of see how I've set it up here. And I kind of just put my phone on top there, and I kind of shift the angles to round and experiment to see what captures my painting best. But yeah, I definitely find on the left side is better. I'm going to show you a few different videos I've taken here for an upcoming reel next week, and you can kind of see how I've experimented with kind of shifting the angle of the camera up and down, in and out, and I'm just going to kind of see which video suits me best. And then I will go into CapCut, which is a third-party editing app, so I can export the video in really high quality footage to YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok. And I'm going to kind of show you how I edit an intro. So this is the intro to my third page, which no one has seen before. And I'm kind of cutting out all the spaces in between the big movements. So I really want to capture big movements, something that's interesting for the audience. And this is an example of my second page. I quickly edited those movements together, and you can kind of see here, how I've created a bit of an intro that tells people how and why I'm illustrating my children's book. And then I go into filming and editing the process of actually illustrating my children's book. I hope that was really helpful and inspired you guys new ways you could film and edit your own content. So now you know your personal brand, you have your social media goals, and you know how to create great content. So how do you actually create a community of people that are invested in what you do, and how do you get exposure and go viral? Well, let's dive in. We want to nurture the community that we have and provide value to the audience and our little family, you guys, that are supporting my work. So how do you do that? And there are three things. The number one thing of creating a community is being transparent in your work. Transparency creates trust, and it creates people that love you because you're sharing knowledge that they don't have. Number two is consistency. Being consistent in your art style, in your content style, in your business style, and that consistency is going to remind people who you are, what your brand identity is, and why you are creating. Number three is involvement. Your actual involvement with your community, replying to comments, replying to DMs, replying to emails, liking people's comments, stories, taking people behind the scenes, having little polls, having a broadcast channel, having little secrets between your really good fans and, making people invested in what you do. So that's kind of how those three things kind of build your community. Oh my God, I am out of breath. Anyway, guys, of course, when I finish talking, the sun is going to come out, but I just want to say before I love and leave you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this has shown you another side to social media strategy, and you can take a lot of things back to the workbook. I hope this video was educational, entertaining, and inspiring, and I hope you learned something from it. And if you want like 3 times the value than what I just said in this video, and you would love examples, behind the scenes advice specific to maybe your small business, then I do have my little workbook, which I don't know how many pages it's going to be because I'm still working on it, but I'll put it up there and I show you some examples on the screen. So if you kind of want to watch this video again with the workbook, because that's the order it's set out in as well, and I go in depth with specific questions you need to ask yourself and specific advice and tips and tricks as well, then you can find that in my shop if you want to invest in your social media strategy. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you would like more tips and tricks on small business, social media, art business, or would like to follow along my journey of writing and illustrating my own children's book, and if you want to follow along an artist from the nearly the very beginning to, when she's going to produce this book and kind of see it come into action, I'm going to take you guys along the entire journey up until end of 2025, 2026, when I actually put this book into the world and beyond. So if you want to see someone grow their business from like the beginning, subscribe for all those reasons and follow along. Anyway, I think I've said enough, and I have a lot of stuff for you guys to ponder on, and I love you. Until next time, love you.